Trey penetrates the left side, cut off by Rose, swings it to Cantor. He's going to on Gasol, turn to the basket and dunk! And his Cantor just went full-fledged Istanbul!
This is Dante Exum. We are ready to tip it off. Are you? Let's do this.
What a fun night last night at the arena. We'll talk about that, give you our NBA 5, and get you all the way. Plus a daily DeVar, too. I have 2 personal daily DeVars I'm going to share. It's all coming up on a fun day on tip-off. Pow! How are you? Hey, we are almost up to 2,000 members of the Google Plus community for Locked On Sports. So thank you very much. If you don't follow that already, it's good for Cougar fans, Ute fans, Aggie fans, Draft fans, NBA fans, Jazz fans. It's the Google Locked On Sports Google Plus community. There's a bunch of guys who are moderators who have done great jobs. If you're interested in being a moderator for us, what we're looking for you to do is you can share your thoughts, but also compile anytime there's a good article, kind of put the link there so that can become a hub for where all the good news is around about our team. So if you're interested in that, send me an email, dlock09@gmail.com. Love to have you get aboard on that. Fun night last night. We'll talk about that. I want to share Daily DeVar. I just little one calling game in the NBA in that arena. The crowd was incredible last night. Is probably my biggest Daily DeVar. It was just a raucous evening. It's the 3rd or 4th time that the roofs come off the building again. The atmosphere's back. If you haven't been to a game, you got 4 coming up this week you can go to. Just great stuff going on at the arena, and the vibe with his team and the feel the fans have toward it. So that would be my first Daily DeVar. Second one is about a month ago, I did this talk for Ivory Homes, and I'm not good at this stuff. I just talked and, bored them with numbers and this and that. And all of a sudden I went to the office yesterday, and I got this gift bag that was out of this world. I got to do something fun, and they gave me a gift. I just thought that was just really cool of the guys at Ivory Home. And then the other one was last night. Somebody paid money in an auction, which is stupid, but it was for charity, so it's good, to meet me before the game. And I just had a really nice time talking to Mike Curtis and the 3 guys with him before the game. And I just wanted to point that out and hope it was worth their while, but it was worth their charity. So kind of fun stuff to throw out there. What a fun night last night at the arena. Too bad it didn't go our way. How about that dunk by Cantor that we led with? We'll look back at some of those final looks the Jazz got in the ball game, and obviously the dreadful turnover by Trey. Just second-year player, man. Second-year player. You just can't make those mistakes. But we'll talk about that and all. But first, how about we do that thing we like to call the NBA 5.
This is Trevor Booker, and you're Locked On Jazz.
Thank you very much, Trevor. The Memphis Grizzlies seem to be the lead team in the NBA right now. What's interesting to me about Memphis are 2 things. One, this shouldn't surprise us, because when Marcus Gasol is healthy, they have been 62-20 over the last 82 regular season games. Now he's got to stay healthy, but that's pretty telling, right? 62-20. The other one is, we talk about them as the grindhouse. When they're at home, they're scoring 17 more points per game than they do on the road. So they're very different at home than they are on the road. We may actually be missing the boat a little bit when we describe them as the grindhouse at home. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant practicing. Westbrook might be ready on Friday, they're saying. Who's to say he's not ready Wednesday when the Jazz play Oklahoma City? Should be interesting to see. Both did contact drills. We'll see. But that's, here they stand. Here it comes. This is what we kind of talked about the whole time. So they are 3-12. 3-12. I think I mentioned this yesterday. If they're going to get to 50 wins, so they would have to, you finish 50-32. They have to go 47-20 the rest of the way to get to 50 wins. That's a 70 win percentile. It's actually, as crazy as it is, this is a must win for them at home against us on Wednesday. They cannot really afford to lose yet another one. By the way, has anyone noticed that Denver has suddenly won 4 in a row? Yeah, because the West needs to get harder. I don't really believe that Denver's turned the corner. They looked so terrible earlier this year, and they beat the Cavaliers, the Thunder, the Pelicans, and the Lakers. And the Lakers was in overtime, so you kind of think to yourself, eh. But they have won 5 of 6. The one loss in there was to New York. They have Chicago tonight, and then at Phoenix for 2, and then they come to Utah on December 1st. So it'll be interesting to see if they can right that ship. Some of this is just momentum. You just gain momentum. That's what was tough about the Jazz loss last night. Is I felt like they could have gained momentum. Portland suddenly won 8 in a row, has the 3rd best record in the NBA. I think they're probably good, but I think a lot of it is they've just gained momentum, and now they believe they're good. That's so much of what this is the Jazz, I don't think start games believing they're particularly good. I think that's part of I think part of what's going on with them is somewhat of this lingering after effect. That's not where I was playing to head here. So I'll get to that later. 2 interesting games last night. One is Toronto wins 104-100 against Phoenix. They really blast Phoenix in the 3rd, and then Phoenix comes back, scores 34 points in the 4th quarter last night. Valanciunas, major night, 27-11 on the undersized Suns team. Miles Plumlee played just 5 minutes. So they really have turned this thing to Alex Len for 20 minutes, and they're playing Markieff Morris as a 5, and just so undersized, and Toronto was able to take advantage of. The stunner of the night was Indiana winning in Dallas. 111-100. Indiana wins in Dallas last night. And the first team that kind of stymied the Mavericks' high-powered offense. And then Dallas just didn't have enough defense along the way, I guess, to stop them. I didn't see this one, but really surprised by this outcome. Indiana winning in Dallas is not something I thought we were going to see along the way. The Clippers, we keep wondering if they're going to get right. Well, the first way to get right is to go east. They just did that. They beat Charlotte, who I've told you from the beginning of the year was going to be a disaster, and they are. I'm looking back at my predictions to start the year. I've been pretty right here. Here's what's interesting about the Clippers. They play at Detroit next, then they go to Houston, then they come to us on the back end of a back-to-back on the 7th game of a road trip that had them in Orlando, Miami, Memphis, Charlotte, Detroit, Houston, and then to the Jazz. And then they get 4 very winnable games at home, and they go back east for 3 winnable games. They could right this ship pretty quickly. We can a lot of worry about the Clippers right now. If they can survive the end of this road trip, they've got a pretty fortuitous schedule heading their direction coming up. Kevin Martin out 6 to 8 weeks for Minnesota. That means all of that is on Wiggins.
Hi, everybody. This is Enes Kanter. I want to hear from you. Call 801-200-3738 and ask me a question. That is 801-200-3738 to ask me a question.
So I have a really funny feeling about last night's game, and I'm not sure I'm in line with our fan base totally on this one. So I thought it was a great game. I thought it was super fun. I enjoyed myself immensely. I'm really proud of the way the guys fought back and the comeback. I also thought it was a really clear example to me of where we are. Like, that would have been a huge win. We may not be ready for that win yet. And 3 plays tell me we may not be ready for it. The 2 passes to open the game were dreadful, and the turnover by Trey. Now, there were a lot of brilliant things along the way, but if you're going to win games in the NBA, you can't make those mistakes. To me, that's really the difference between being focused, ready to go, every possession, valuing every possession, which is what gets you from kind of where we are to the next hump. We're not there yet. Like, that would have been a huge win. You win that one. You go to Oklahoma City. Maybe you win. Maybe you don't. You have the Clippers who are tired. I think you get that game just because I told you about the Clippers road trip. Then you have Denver, Toronto, and Orlando at home. You suddenly could win 4 or 5. Now you're 500. You believe in yourself. Feeling good about yourself. You got a brutal rest of December still coming. But you believe in yourself a little bit. Maybe we weren't ready for that yet. Really, truly, maybe we weren't ready for that. Is that too cruel on my part? I don't know. Let's look at 3 plays and have me show you that this, to me, is the difference. And we're getting there. We're all heading in the right direction. It's all good. But these plays, to me, are so bad, frankly. That it's the difference between being ready. Here's the first play of the game. The very, very first play of the game. Hayward comes and gets it. Favors to the right. We're running through our set. Alec hands the ball. Are you kidding? Like, you can't make that pass. He's on the far left side. We're going to play it over here so I can freeze it for you.
And let's play. Jazz win the tip.
He's on the far left side. He doesn't even look. We're running through our flow set. We don't set very good picks. We get it going. We're a little soft here. Alec comes and gets the ball on the right side. Favor sets a pick. Joakim Noah steps out. Who is he going to throw this pass to? Here, let's run it a second. It's in slow motion. He now catches it. He jumps to throw this pass with 8 on the shot clock. I guess it's to Hayward. While in the air, Butler knows what's coming. 2 points the wrong way. All right, you're being a jerk. Maybe I'm being a jerk, but here's the next play. You got to value your possession.
Jazz early turnover, and Jimmy Butler takes it up.
You have to value the possession.
Jazz early turnover, and Jimmy Butler takes it up and in.
And while Bowler's still talking about
this Bulls team, this is the first
that
time,
possession,
really.
Here's Cantor doing the exact same play without even looking. So Gordon brings up the left side, swings to Alec. Alec over to Trey. We're kind of in, and here it is. Ennis has it. He looks, and he throws it automatically. Just like it's in a skeleton, as Ron says. Boom. Okay, 4 points. It's a lot. Maybe not that big a deal. But for me, what I saw then is for the rest of the quarter, completely unnerved. Completely unnerved. Didn't look right the rest of the way. Hayward then has a turnover on a bad pass. 3 possessions later. Favors misses a 19-footer. Trey misses a 4-footer. Alec misses a 21-footer. Ennis misses a 22-footer. We start the night, as we have so often, 19-footer, 21-footer, 20. Our opening 7 possessions of the game the other night are 3 20-foot jumpers, a 4-footer, and 3 turnovers. You're down 9-0. It's a long game, but that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Butler gets into Hayward early, makes 2 turnovers in the first 4 minutes of the game. Gordon's not good enough yet to dictate, or ever, to dictate his matchup every night. Butler evidently was a better defensive player than Gordon was an offensive player last night. It's tough. But you can't, that's a reality. These passes, you don't need to make. Now, there's a ton of great moments to talk about. I probably shouldn't open the show with the negatives, but to me, this is kind of the next step. Like, I mean, this is in the sense of progression and where you're going. Quinn said after the game, I would rather talk about the comeback than the mistakes. Okay, I'm going the other way to start this thing. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm going the other way to start this thing because I think this is what the difference is between winning and losing, and we're close. We've made huge progress. This is the difference. You're up 1 here. We start, first of all, we have had a tendency to do this all year. We get very late in the clock. I get it. You're up 1. Now, Quinn, this is also, I don't know if you can see this on the video. Quinn wants them, I think, if you watch Quinn in the upper right, if my memory is, Quinn, I think, wants them to go 2 for 1. If you watch Quinn up here, no, that's not that position. It's a different one. All right, so Quinn calls out the play. Or maybe you want an early pick. So they're going to run a Cantor, right side, pick and roll. Trey rolls around the right. Does a nice job as he did all night getting into the paint. Trey was really good last night. Trey got into the paint, wiggled into the paint, broke the paint, curled. He's learned from other point guards, curled back under, done all these things. Cantor is behind him. It's not an easy pass Trey does not have a lot of places to go. There's 7 on the clock. This is kind of a brutal situation if you're watching this video. And he throws a behind-the-back dribble pass to Cantor, who doesn't have great hands, off his feet. You can't do that. You just can't do that. It is the difference between playing really well and winning. Now, this play wasn't going great anyway, right? There's 7 on the shot clock. We get it started. Trey works off the pick and roll. Gasol guards it well. Trey Rose defends, can't get it back. Cantor's probably the right play to make there on the bounce back, but now you're getting a 22-footer for Cantor to win it. Not great. Now, the other good side is we got 2 pretty darn good looks late. Let's look at those for a second. The Hayward shot at the end is a pretty darn good look, and the play prior to that, Favors, who was just terrific all night. I mean, Derek was unbelievable. Bangs out and gets on a well-executed, patient, well-done play. And we're watching it here. So Alec comes to get it up top, hands to Trey. They get into their early action. Trey works away from the pick, breaks the paint beautifully. Favors is open. Free throw line, Jay. Not a great percentage shot, but you know what? Pretty well executed. Pretty well executed. I mean, Derek's going to make that shot 35% of the time. He probably wants something a little better than that. But that's really well done. And I'm sure that wasn't the primary action. Here it is. So Trey Ennis comes up. Trey goes away from the pick. I'm not sure what he saw, but he saw something. He brings 3 defenders to him. Cantor's down on the dunker. Derek's done his job. They're sticking to Jimmy Butler's not leaving Gordon Hayward in the right corner. Alec Burks, I'm not sure why he runs to the ball here. I don't have any idea what he's doing. It kind of screws up the play, actually. I don't know that in their offense. I don't see what that is. Alec then retreats out. So I'm not that little motion by Alec on the far side of running right at the ball. In that circumstance, it seems to me that the exact opposite thing is that Alec should have gone to the corner to bring his defender with him. But look at this. Favors gets a pretty good look right here. He's made it most of the night. Noah contests because Noah's great. The only thing that goes wrong here is, and these are subtle things. I'm not sure I'm right on Alec here, but I think I am. And this is a little bit like these are subtle things. Like when you hear people say Alec's not very good off the ball, if this is in case if I'm right, this would be a good example of it. Like I'm not, let's watch it again. Alec comes to the top, hands to Trey. Alec's down on the wing. Trey penetrates. Why? To me, maybe I'm wrong, I think Alec goes to the corner here, but I could be wrong on this. If Alec goes to the corner here, he brings that defender with him, Derek Solomon. I'm not sure what Alec's getting by running right at Trey here. Doesn't clog it up too much. It's not that big a deal, but it's just an interesting. Those are the little details. Those those turnovers, Trey's behind the back pass, the little turnovers. Those are the plays that differentiate not starting down 9-0. That make a play late, give you another opportunity. You can't turn it over up 1 with 30 seconds left. You just can't do it. That's the difference. We're close. We're close. It's good. There were some He-Man efforts last night. Remember He-Man? Derek Favors was really great against some pretty good bigs last night. That Bulls team is really good. Like they're going to win the East. You know, that's a bigger win if Gordon hits that shot. It's a bigger win than beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know LeBron's not there, but it is. We probably should take a second and just look at how beautifully Quinn drew up that final play, because that was some pretty gorgeous basketball.
It doesn't have to be a 3, but if you get collapsed upon, you got to be looking out for that 3-point. You got Novak.
All right, let me point out one thing, by the way. It should always be a 3. You have 2 seconds left. Oh, geez. I just did something. You have 3 seconds left. If you make a 2, your chances of winning are 50% going to overtime. If you take a 3,
it doesn't have to be a 3, but
if you take a 3 and you make it, you win. So your 2 better be 50% better look than your 3. So playing for the 3 is the right play. All right, here we go. Let's watch it. It's a well-done play. Hayward's going to inbound. Pass it. Trey comes to the first man through, clears space. Novak gets the inbound right here on a Favors pick. And Hayward runs right at him. Watch Derek will flip around and set a pick on Butler. Beautiful. Gordon's open. Just came up short. Just battled Jimmy Butler, who's incredibly physical all day. May not have had the legs. It's a beautiful play. It's very well run by Quinn. Very great understanding of time. 2.9 seconds, what can get done. Beautiful play by Favors actually is the key. So there's the inbound to Novak. Hands right back to Hayward. And also it's just mucked up. There's 3 guys involved. Noah suddenly sees what's happening here at the backside. Butler is caught on a Novak pick. Favors sets the pick. We'll watch it in slow-mo. Really good play by Tony Snell to get over. Favors sets a nice pick. And you know what? Frankly, is that Pau Gasol? That's a great play. I hadn't realized that. What a great play by Pau Gasol. If you watch this again, Gasol has got Favors guy. So no, or maybe it's Noah. Noah's guarding Novak. See who it is. Oh, Noah had switched out to Ingles. So there's a little trickery there. This is Pau Gasol. He's at the top of the key for Favors. He realizes right here what's happening. And makes a pretty big-time 7-foot effort to bother Gordon's shot. Interesting. I hadn't seen that before. Frankly, that's the little thing the other way. Give the Bulls credit. That's a 13-year veteran who steps out and makes the play, tapping it the other way. Pretty awesome. Jazz effort was great. Maybe a win last night might have skipped a step, as we say. You know, really could have pushed this thing forward, given them some momentum. But I'm not sure we're ready for that. Oh, it's a great game. So we'll see. I see Justin Sweeney mentioned in the that you weren't getting the video. Were you getting the video after that, Justin? Did you get it back? Did you eventually get the video? No, Justin never got the video. So you guys, I might have just done this whole thing with nobody getting the video. All right. Well, that would suck. That would suck. Oh, and the question and answers didn't turn on the tip-off. Wow, that's not good. Anybody ask any questions? I'll see if anybody has a question, put it on the event page, and I'll get to it right now. Our quarter-by-quarter stuff is crazy. We are, for the season, we are -9 in the first quarter per 100 possessions. So, divide that by 4, really. Maybe even 4.5. -18 in the second quarters. Unbelievable. +15 in the third. And then -3.5 in the fourth. Really, really bizarre. Tom Green says, quarter stats. Hayward isn't bringing it early in the game. It appears to me he doesn't get going in those initial 6 minutes of quarter time. Then Snyder takes him out, and Hayward takes a bit to get going in the second quarter. Second unit doesn't have an additional score with Hood out. Okay, I love Rodney Hood, but he's shooting 24% in the games he played. I think we probably can't rest totally on that. Hayward needs to get 3 or 4 shots up in the first 6 minutes, get the line. Snyder needs to help him do that. He's too unselfish to start. His D doesn't pick up until the third. Maybe. You got to sub guys out at some point. Actually, I think Gordon's first quarter numbers are pretty good. Really, the whole Gordon subbing out in the first quarter is trying to help the second quarter. But Gordon's in the game when we fall behind 9-0, when we fell behind 12-0 Golden State. So I'm not sure I'm buying that it's the 6-minute substitution of Gordon Hayward that's causing that problem. We have really had an inability to score with Gordon Hayward on the floor, but our first quarters in 3 of the first 4 games with Gordon on the floor, pretty poor. Not because Gordon, just pretty poor. Gordon probably doesn't like that at all, but it's not as though Gordon's playing 36 minutes a night. He's got to sit at some point, right? He's playing 34 minutes a night. He's got to sit at some point. I'm not sure the Jazz as an organization fundamentally want guys playing 38, 39 minutes. I think they think it's a lot of wear. Gordon is averaging per game in the first quarter. He plays less in the first quarter than any other quarter. But in the second quarter, when he plays more than any other quarter, his plus minus is on average -4 in that second quarter. He's a part of the second quarter problem. He's getting 2 shots per first quarter. He's hitting 55%, 60% from 3, scoring 3 points a game. He's scoring 5 points per second quarter. He's just not making a lot of shots. When Gordon's on the floor, we're usually pretty good. Let me see if there's any more questions because I screwed up. Jazz started slow again. They look lethargic and apathetic. For example, Gordon on the first 2 plays had a chance to try to chase down the block and pulled up early and didn't try. He had no chance to get Jimmy Butler on either of those 2 plays. Is that a case of the team being tired from being practiced too hard, or the other teams starting to scout the Jazz? I mean, those were just 2 terrible passes, and I think it derailed the entire game. I really do. I might be wrong on this. I can be wrong all the time. But I really think that on those first 2 passes, then the Jazz looked frantic and rushed for the rest of the game, for the rest of that quarter, until they quieted down the third quarter and got going. But to me, really, truly, that's what it looked like to me, was they got frantic. I also thought, I will say this, I'd be curious to rewatch it. For the first time all year in the first quarter, I thought guys took my turn shots. I could be totally wrong. Be interesting. I'm going to rewatch this game on the plane. But I thought at the 9:50 mark, Kanter hadn't had a shot yet, and he pulled one. I thought Burks at the 10:06 mark hadn't had a shot yet, and he pulled one. I could be wrong. I thought Burks at the 5:13 mark took a 20-foot jumper. It was a little earlier in the clock than I would have taken. Same with Kanter again at the 4:53 mark. By the way, not to zero in on them, but these guys, both Kanter and Alec, if in fact I'm right on that, are doing stuff that they've never done before. So, those are new. Does Alec throw that same pass? Hope not. Does Ennis? Hope not. I would show you the video of those plays. I may be right or wrong. I'll go back and watch them on whether they pulled. But Justin was saying he wasn't getting the video, so I'm hesitant to go back and watch the video and make you guys watch a black screen again. So I guess that would be a question of whether or not we actually thought that was working. Because, I know what shots those are. I was going to go back and watch them later today. And maybe I'll tell you tomorrow. How about that from Oklahoma City? All right, thanks very much for tuning in. Fabulous performance. Great progress. But that's the step. Now, here's my point. Things are heading in the right direction. Loved the effort. Loved the fight. The arena was amazing. I thought last night was really representative of what has to happen. Can't commit 10 turnovers in the first half. Can't make those 2 turnovers start the game. Can't commit that turnover late. There were some other great things. Ennis rolled, and I'll find these when I rewatch the game. Ennis rolled beautifully on a rotation defense last night. Ennis screened out Noah late beautifully. Trey broke the paint at a fabulous level. Favors battled hard. It was terrific. He was a beast. It was great. Joe Ingles played the game a little bit more freely, less like he was trying not to make a mistake. It's good stuff. It's a great game last night. All right, we're going to muck one up against Oklahoma City. Then we're home for 4. Clippers, Denver, Toronto, Orlando. I hope you come out and join us. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tip Off. Have a good one.